Hello learner, yet again I welcome you to Manifested online classes. My name is James Kenyani. We are yet again going to continue with our topic on longitude and latitude. Today we are going to look at the position of a place on Earth. Position of a place on Earth. Position of a place on Earth. Having now known how we can locate a place using latitude and again using longitude, you'll find it is adequate to position the place using both. So the objective would be the basic objective is to enable the learner to define the position of a place on Earth using latitude and longitude. Learner, it is not adequate enough to locate the position of a place on Earth using latitude only. Using latitude only. Like this position here. Like this position here, it is on the equator, learner. It is on the equator. But there are so many other places on that latitude. Like if I take this, if I just say that position is 0 degrees on the equator, I should define exactly where it is. If it is this latitude, there are many other positions on that latitude. So it's not adequate to position the place using latitude only. That is why we should also state its longitude. So that's why we say it is not adequate So just to reiterate, it is not adequate to state the position of a place using latitude only, as we could also have many other positions or places on the same latitude. Therefore, definite. We shall get a definite position. So if I'm having this globe, if it is this place, we would have stated the latitude and also we state the longitude. But if you say the latitude only, there are so many places on that latitude, quite many. So when you state the latitude and longitude, the position becomes definite. Like if it this place, I know I can state the latitude, which is around 30 degrees north of the equator, and stating 30 degrees north and moving like that, and also state the longitude. So if it is 30 degrees, you'll also state the longitude, which will be the line of the meridian. So it's good to state both longitude and latitude to make the position definite. That's why we come on the board and draw the globe. It's good to understand that using a globe. So as usual, you'll get used to calling that O the center of the earth. O is the center of that earth. O is the center. So I can have my determining points, the equator. That is the equator. O is the center of the earth. That is the equator. I can have, that's the North Pole, that's the South Pole, Lana. That is the Greenwich Prime Meridian, where I get other positions. So this is Greenwich Prime Meridian. And you know why it's called Greenwich Prime Meridian? It passes a place called Greenwich in London, 0 degrees. That is also equator, and at the center of north and south. The Greenwich Meridian is at the center of east and west. So the equator, Lana, it is just 0 degrees. It is at the center of north and east. It is at the center. So I can have another small circle here. Can have another longitude here. I have another longitude there. I have a latitude here. So I'll have 2 positions or places. I have A, I have B, I have C, and I have D. I have those positions. I have those positions. So I should give the angles. We have the angles theta and alpha. So with that, I have 4 positions. So it can be told state, define the positions, is figure W. So Lana, I have that globe. You can be told define the positions A, B, C, and D using latitude and longitude. So Lana, that is the question that is posed there. This is the angle theta. So before we go to that, we identify the lines of parallel we have. I have the equator here. Any lines parallel to the equator like these ones, those are latitudes. Any lines similar to the Greenwich prime meridians, those are what we call longitudes. So when you move this direction of the Greenwich prime meridian, you'll be moving east. When you move that direction on the left, you'll be west of the Greenwich prime meridian. So any meridian mentioned on this side will be west. Anyone mentioned beyond will be on the east. When we come to the equator, when you move above, north, when you move below, south. So that will guide you very well. Let's start with A. So you always start with the latitude. Let's start with A. What is the latitude of A? When you consider latitude, you consider that angle it makes on the plane of equator. So it is alpha. It is actually alpha. Alpha degrees north. That one has guided me. Alpha degrees north. What about the longitude? You'll consider the meridian either west or east of the Greenwich prime meridian. So that line of longitude is theta degrees to the west of the Greenwich prime meridian. So you write theta degrees west. I would have definitely defined the position of A. I'll come to B. Come to point B. When a point is on the equator, when you mention the latitude, you don't need to mention north or south. You don't need to mention north or south, Lana. You just write 0 degrees. Somebody will understand that is the equator. So let's move to the longitude now. There is a displacement from the Greenwich prime meridian of theta degrees to the west. So it's theta degrees west. We come to C, Lana. We come to point C, Lana. You check if it is on the equator. When you mention the latitude, it just remains 0 degrees. We come to C. C is actually at the center. At the center. Somebody would say the center of the earth. It's good to show you. It will be very interesting to show you that place. That place. So it's near Africa. Near Accra. The equator is here. That point is this one, Lana. 0, 0. The center. It is where you start measuring your latitude and also where you start measuring your longitude either to the west or east. It is that place. It is in the Atlantic Ocean. It is on the west coast of Africa. It is on the west coast of Africa. You can say that point is actually on the west coast of Africa, 0, 0. Point C is 0, 0. So you don't need to mention west or east because it is at the center. That point is on the globe. It is on the west coast of Africa. So I'll just write 0 degrees, 0 degrees. Somebody will understand. You've not measured any degrees to the west or east. You've not measured any degrees to the north or south. So it is on the equator and on the Greenwich prime meridian where you start measuring. So you come to D. Come to D, Lana. So I've used alpha, but this can be any angle, 60 degrees, 40 degrees, like that. I come to D. D, I start with the latitude. Given that it is on this same latitude, it will be the same latitude as A. You realize that? That angle will also be alpha. So the angle of latitude measured in relation to the plane of the equator is alpha degrees north, and it is on the Greenwich prime meridian itself. You've not gone to the west or east. It is at the center. So you just write 0 degrees. But if it was some 5 degrees, 1 degree, I'll write 1 degree to the west. I'll write 1 degree to the west. So there are some things you've noted there, Lana, especially at point B. It is actually at the center where you start measuring, either to the north, to the south, and to the west, to the east. Not also that the maximum angle of latitude you can measure is 90. 90 to the north, 90 to the south. The maximum angle of longitude you can measure by going round up to the other point there is a half turn, 180 degrees. You can either move 180 degrees to the west or 180 degrees to the east. 180 degrees to the east. So a recap of what we've done, we've seen that you cannot define a place using latitude only, because on that same latitude like this one, we have very many points. So to be definite with a position on Earth, like the one I've shown you 0, 0 here, 0, 0, it's definite. But if I had just said 0 degrees, 0, even here, it is 0 degrees, still on the equator. Still on the equator. There are so many points that will be on the equator. That's why we used the latitude and longitude to make that position definite. To make that position definite. That makes that position definite. So with that, learner, I say practice would make perfect. So it will say practice would make perfect. Draw separate diagrams. So as I've said, you can use now degrees, not alpha and theta. The question will involve you to give the actual degrees, but in form of just a sketch to show. This is not a geometric construction, so long as you can show the degrees and its relation in relation to the South Pole and the North Pole. When I say separate diagrams, for one you'll draw a globe, another one a globe, so that they are not congested. So A, there is a place 30 degrees south, that's the latitude. The longitude is 0. That's point A. When you see that learner, you'll know that is on the Greenwich Prime Meridian. B, we have 30 degrees north, the latitude, the longitude 60 degrees west. Come to C, 0, 0. So learner, those are the positions you'll identify. You'll actually have how many diagrams? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Each of them looking like that, but just showing every position for each diagram. So draw separate diagrams to show each of the following points on Earth. A, 30 degrees south, 0 degrees. B, 36 degrees north, 60 degrees west. C, 0 degrees, 0 degrees. D, 30 degrees south for the latitude, 40 degrees east for the longitude. E, 20 degrees north for the latitude, 30 degrees east for the longitude. F, 45 degrees north for the latitude and 0 for the longitude. So thank you very much for the audience. Plot those positions correctly, and let's meet in the next lesson fresh again to proceed with that topic on longitude and latitude. Bye-bye and have a nice time.